Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Marcos. Marcos is the Spanish and Portuguese equivalent to the ancient Roman male name Marcus. The English typically use Mark and the Spanish/Portuguese generally use Marcos, while Marco is more closely associated with the Italians. Marcus originated as one of the oldest of Roman forenames. In fact, at the time of antiquity and the classical era, Marcus was one of only a dozen or so given names used for boys. In the 2nd century Roman Empire, Marcus Aurelius, considered a philosopher-king and symbolizing much of what was good about Roman civilization, was the last of the 5 good emperors. The etymological origin of the name is not certain. It likely comes from one of 2 places. The first is Mars, the Roman god of war. The second is from the Latin adjective mas, meaning male, virile, which connects nicely with Mars. Either way, this name is old boy. Marcos is currently a high-ranking name in Spain and Catalonia. Personality of the boy named Marcos. Romance is the hallmark of the 6 personality. They exude nurturing, loving, and caring energy. 6s are in love with the idea of love in its idealized form, and with their magnetic personalities, they easily draw people toward them. Like the number 2 personality, they seek balance and harmony in their life and the world at large. They are conscientious and service-oriented, and a champion for the underdog. These personalities naturally attract money and are usually surrounded by lovely material objects, but their human relationships are always primary. They thrive in giving back to others rather than being motivated by their own desires. This is when they achieve great things. 6s are natural teachers, ministers, and counselors. Popularity of the boy named Marcos. Marcos has been on the American male naming charts since 1921 but didn't show any real marked improvement in usage until the 1960s. As the latter half of the 20th century got underway, the name Marcos grew in popularity. This increased usage of the name closely mirrored the growing Hispanic population in the United States. The name reached the height of his popularity in the 1990s, but since we've entered the 21st century, Marcos has been on a slow decline. This is a typical pattern among Spanish-specific names. As 2nd and 3rd generation Hispanics and Latinos assimilate into American society and culture, they are turning away from their traditional Spanish naming conventions and instead following the current trends of the country at large. Still, whatever name is used for the Marcus family of names, Mark, Marco, Marcos, these are all sourced from one of the oldest, most classical names of antiquity. They are all competent-sounding names that suggest virility and strength. Quick facts on Marcos. Gender, boy. Origin, Spanish. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, 362. Pronunciation, Marcos. Simple meaning, god of war, male, virile. Characteristics of Marcos. Sensitive, loving, affectionate, community-minded, family-oriented, humanitarian, compassionate. Cultural references to the baby name Marcos.